his camera was stolen on day 2 of Way Up North, which was the day that I spoke. So there are no photos of me on stage. So yeah, Chris, I felt it too.
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
I know how I'm going to start the episode today.
How are you going to do it?
1 second.
Okay.
I have an early Christmas gift for you.
What? Lindsay?
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
It's from Taylor and I.
That's very nice.
Open it.
I really like this bag. This tote is really sweet.
It's cute, right?
Get my reaction on camera. Well, you probably want your
Actually,
reaction.
you know what? That bag was regifted from one of my clients that gave it to me.
This. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, this is a Hooters mug. If you're not, I really like a dipped mug.
It's a nice mug.
Like it's a really it's dipped orange,
and ceramic. I know.
This
listen,
is such a shame because I'm going to use this.
I was
all the
in
time.
Florida last week with Taylor.
Thank you so much.
You're
This is
so
so
welcome.
nice.
And we saw their merch and we were like,
Gotta have it.
I fear that it is too good for us to not purchase it for everybody.
No, you got it. This is so delightful. I love it.
Honestly, first of all,
I'm going to wash it first. You can put my coffee
Hooters
right in.
that's great. It's a good idea. It's from South Florida, so I'm sure it's healthy.
Oh, it's fine.
Hooters is a really interesting brand.
Okay. Tell me more about them. What do you know about Hooters?
Well, listen, I'm a
maybe we don't?
feminist. And I think that as a feminist, the urge is initially to be, and I know you're a feminist, the urge is initially to be like, this is degrading for women. As a woman on this planet
Yes.
who has experienced men,
Enough said.
let me just say,
That smells fine.
these women are going to get looks regardless. They might as well get paid for it. And I love that Hooters, although it is definitely, it's owned by a bunch of men, so they're all definitely profiting more than
Yeah.
the women are.
Yeah.
These women are making good money. So, I mean, they're going to work in a restaurant and they're going to get oogled by men anyways because they're all gorgeous, and they would get oogled whether they worked at, Moxie's or a
Anywhere
Hooters.
else that they're, yeah.
So they might as well wear the hot pants. And for that reason, that's why I support Hooters. And
Okay.
I'm told that they have really good chicken wings. And the bar is literally in the floor for this one, but
Okay.
it was the best meal we had the entire time we were in Fort Lauderdale.
That's wild.
But I'm saying the bar is in the floor.
And this is a Hooters mug from South Florida, pardon me.
South Florida,
So
Fort
that
Lauderdale.
counts.
And actually, Miss Fort Lauderdale herself
Go
served
on.
us and sold us that mug.
Wow.
I know.
Glad I didn't wash it. That's great.
You shouldn't wash it. Yeah. I'm so happy you enjoy it. Taylor's going to be really happy about that too.
Taylor, if you're watching, thank you so much. That's a very delightful and thoughtful gift.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and also sorry to Kelly that you have to look at that in your home.
No, she loves it. I'm sure she loves it.
I know. Honestly, I actually said to Taylor, Kelly might like this more than
I
Tim
think she
does.
will.
Because there's something about Hooters that it's weird if dudes are into it, but it's
Yeah.
kind of fine if women are into it.
I always feel weird about that. I've never been in.
Oh, well, you can come. I'll bring you with me because
Great.
now, I'm just a Hooters fan. Big fan of.
Hooty hoo! Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Shoe Shop Podcast. My name is Tim. This is Lindsay. If you don't already know, we're wedding and portrait photographers here on the internet to help you with your call-ins, your questions, your DMs to our show. We help you improve your business, improve your client relationships, and be a better photographer in person in the
Hopefully your
in the
life
process.
in the end.
That's the hope.
In the end,
We're not brilliant, but we are pretty close.
Well,
but like everyone,
speak for yourself.
we need to have a higher power. So our higher power is the Magic 8 Ball, which is behind Lindsay. She's going to grab it. And we're going to ask it a question, a yes or no question, because it doesn't do context yet.
It hasn't so far. It barely
No.
does yes or no.
It's
Last
really
couple
on
of
its
weeks.
last legs. If you are watching and listening, if you want to send us an 8 Ball, if you're from the 8 Ball Corporation, I'm guessing that's Mattel. Who is that?
You can't say on the internet, "Can you send us an 8 ball?" because they're going to send us something else. We
Please don't send us drugs. Yeah.
We don't want drugs. Let's ask the Magic 8 Ball a question in regards to, so today's episode, for those of you who missed last week's episode, Tim and I did a little peaks and valleys recap. We recapped our past year. We like to do this just personally and professionally, and we thought we would share it with you guys.
Can't wait.
We got vulnerable. We told you all of the things that we were happy with and sad with over the past year. And then we asked you guys on Instagram to share yours, and we got some DMs. We got some notes in our little question box.
Yes, we did.
And we're going to expand on them, and we may even have more questions because I feel like some of you need to clarify.
Yeah, we have quite a few. I pulled most of them that we have from people who weren't like just scary. We got some nice ones. We got some weird ones. So.
Oh, we got some weird ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't want to
okay.
put anything out that was kind of strange. So we pulled the best.
Valid. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So
Yeah.
thanks for curating it.
Of course.
So I think last week we asked something. No, you know what? I'm not going to even try to
Doesn't matter.
remember. I was going to say, I think last week we asked, will we have more peaks and valleys?
It was. Yeah.
And so
I wanted more valleys because I wanted to take more swings and more risks.
Right. Valid.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's going to be for our listeners and for
Okay.
our friends. Will your wildest dreams come true in 2025?
Oh,
Which means you have to have some dreams. Okay. Okay. So
gotta start somewhere.
just keep that one in mind. Okay. Will our listeners' wildest dreams of their highest peaks, the highest mountain that they can possibly climb, come true today? Or at least at some point next year? Listen, it's actually scary because this thing could say no. So
We don't want that.
well, you know what? I'm going to just reshake that one actually.
Didn't
'cause
feel like it
It
counted.
didn't feel like the
was
right
on the corner.
response
Sure.
that we were hoping for. And the answer is yes. It said yes.
Great.
Oh, the screen immediately went dark when I turned it, but
Okay.
that's okay.
It said yes.
So it said yes affirmatively.
That could goes.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here with me yet again, Tim. It's
my
always
God.
nice to hang out with
It's
you.
a delight.
Tim and I share a studio together.
Mm-hmm.
We hang out here in the studio all the time. And today we both were the most chaotic people that have ever existed. And I say both, I mean me.
I was just there by proxy. So it's fine.
Today we're filming the day after,
Cyber Monday.
which we promised we were going to stop talking about.
Yes.
We're filming today currently in real time the day after Cyber Monday. And the funny thing about that is that there's actually nothing funny about it because for whatever reason,
People extending it.
all of my clients have decided that actually, well, if American Eagle is still going to give me the discount, then you should too.
Yeah.
But then they've decided, I saw all of your ads for the past 3 weeks and I saw all of your reminders to order my holiday cards.
And
I saw all of your reminders telling me what the deadlines were.
And I decided to ignore it?
I just have a question. Do you think I could order a custom photo book today? You know, and because I
No.
like to be customer servicey,
Sure.
I do be trying and
Yeah.
I should stop. Anyways, so I had a little bit of a hairy morning this morning. And so I just want to say thanks for being here and not leaving me
my God.
when I was being an insane person.
We had to record the show. I had things to do.
Yeah. He did have things he's like, I literally had no choice but to be here.
No, it's good to have someone who you work with because it's a very solitary position being a wedding photographer. Like having a friend. Maybe you go to a coffee shop and you shoot the shit for a couple of days a week and edit and kind of, talk about the issues of running a business. Because
Sometimes commiserate.
Exactly.
And
Misery loves company.
Honestly, it's so funny when I think about the peaks and valleys that we talked
Sure.
about last week because I've been reminiscing a little bit and just thinking about more of it. At no point did I ever say, oh, like those emails, like that one time somebody sent me that email that set me off. You generally don't remember those kinds of things.
Hopefully not.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't. Like if somebody's like, what was your worst client? Like I would have to work hard to find that.
Really? Okay.
I would really have to work hard to think about who my Tim's like, really?
Oh, mine stand out.
I've got a really big one. No, no, I've got a short-term memory when it comes
Okay.
to terrible client experiences, I
Really?
guess. So,
Okay.
which is great. I think that's why I'm like 11 years into this and still going strong.
That's great.
So, anyways, with that being said,
Let's jump in.
let's not create more peaks and valleys.
No.
Well, let's not create more valleys. Today, let's hear yours.
So we're going to jump right into these. These are from Instagram. First up is Chris Tellez. His peak is obviously made cool friends, shooting weddings, got my first preferred vendor status. Congratulations, Chris. Friend of the show, friend of ours.
Congratulations.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, Cranberry Creek took him on as a preferred vendor.
I was wondering when I saw that slide on through, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like imagine in your first year.
I can't
You're just
imagine.
like, I mean, his first year full time. He's
Yeah.
like, what's up? I'm going to shoot some weddings. You're a likable enough person and you provided them with enough like,
Communication on the day and probably photos right away that they were just like, oh, we like you.
and they were like, can we have this guy come
Yeah,
back?
yeah.
Phenomenal
It took me
work,
4 years
Chris.
to get my first. No, 3 years to get my first preferred vendor.
I think it took me
at
4.
Hacienda, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a long time. Maybe, yeah, Hacienda was generous. They liked us early, but
Yeah.
it's not an easy one. So
No.
for anyone out there who's trying to become a preferred vendor and you're hearing, oh, this guy got on in his first year. Actually, you know what's an interesting thing we talked about a little while ago, that instead of maybe trying to go for like the golden goose of like the biggest venue in your area,
Right.
like this is a great venue that does a ton of weddings.
Absolutely.
Maybe
They're a bit off the beaten path in terms of location as well. Like they're out in the country basically.
Yeah.
And they host typically like smaller scale weddings.
Yes.
And more of like I'd say more of like a DIY couple who just want something really, really simple and laid back.
Yeah.
And those are venues that typically will take on, I feel like, people like in their first year, second year, third year, because they just want something fresh, you know?
Yes, and also they're usually hoping for people that will fit within
Yeah.
the price point of their
Exactly.
clientele.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say about that is another peak of yours, Chris, probably should be launching your website. It looks bomb. Having your pricing listed, also bomb. And having a price point that's like really solid and sustainable. Like, I don't know if you had a chance to look
I
at it,
looked.
Tim, when
Oh,
he
yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Chris, your new website looks beautiful.
Well done, man.
So proud
Focal.
of you. Great work, Focal, on
Focal
designing.
website,
and
get a Focal
absolutely-
website. It's too late for this Black Friday deal,
Yeah.
but talk to Dr. Ben. He'll hook you up with something amazing.
Yeah,
probably.
great work on creating a beautiful website.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like it's funny that when I want to refer people, it's like,
Yes.
oh, well, I can't refer somebody that's just like got an Instagram. Or,
No, you need a place, right?
And now that makes that so much easier for me. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Chris, sweet. Thanks you so much. And also it's great that you have shot for the stars and you're not coming in being like, hi, sorry
Humble
to
me.
be here.
Yeah, I did that for a while.
Doing a
Very humble.
$1,500 day or
Yep.
something. No, he's like, boom, I'm here.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's move on. That's all I have to say about Chris Tejas for now.
He didn't have a negative. Some people just did highs. Some people
No
just did
valleys.
valleys.
I don't want to hear him.
That's okay. Moving on. We have say hello RW. Didn't look at the name. Probably should. Even know who you are. The high is dream honeymoon. Amazing high. The low is almost losing my mom. Terrible low. So
Terrible low. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that.
but almost. That's good.
Almost.
You didn't lose your mom. That's
Yeah.
incredible. No, I've never lost a parent, so I don't know what that's like. But I hear it's pretty life changing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we as human beings are obviously we're here talking about photography and we could not help but talk about our real life last week when we
sure.
were doing this, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no way for me to talk about, oh yeah, like we were going to Italy without talking about the low shit that was happening at the same time,
No kidding.
right? So
yeah, with your family friends.
totally hear and understand that and how
Yeah.
hard that is. And I hope that your mom's doing okay. And
Yeah.
I hope that her health and whatever's going on with your fam. I hope it's a great celebration this holiday season
That'd be
with
great
you
to
all
have everyone
together.
That'd be so nice. And then dream honeymoon. I mean, send us notes. Where'd you go?
Dream honeymoon. Yeah. I
Tell
love
us.
that. Where would your dream honeymoon be?
I would.
You've got to plan a wedding first. Just kidding. Don't even
I
answer
really,
me.
No, I'm gonna go. I'll jump ahead. I'll skip that. I really like the idea of doing a tour. I think it'd be really nice. It'd be really nice to take Kelly to Ireland because she hasn't been so long. I'd love Ireland. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Um,
She literally just would
It's her
fit right
climate.
into the landscape.
She's ginger. She's pale as a ghost. Don't be mad at me, Kelly. I know you watch this,
No,
but
she's
she would
stunning.
love. She would
has
love that.
The most beautiful porcelain
She
skin.
does. She does. But she would love that climate, and I think she would just love to connect with some family again. So that'd be really nice. And then I'd also like to go to like Greece. Greece is really dope. Went to Santorini once.
interesting.
Santorini with Taylor once, and it was like one of the coolest fucking places.
So you want to do a little European moment.
little European
A
mo.
little Euro trip. Okay, I love that for you. And it's nice that you thought of your fiance during all of that.
Of course. I've been to so many places. I don't want to deny her things, and I don't want to go to the same place twice. So I've been to Ireland in a long time. So that'd be a nice thing to go to, I think.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Moving
Well,
on.
I'll have to join you on your honeymoon since you joined me on mine.
We'll do a friends moon. It'll be a lot of fun. Moving right along. Jessica Hobson from J Event.
JH.
JH Event. I always want to pronounce it, but Jessica, thank you for tuning in.
JH Event Artistry.
She is a florist and designer here in the Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge region. She says 2024, the spookiest year of client ghosting. We did an episode on client ghosting, but not during the Halloween season. We should have done that. It was a spooky year for a lot of that. I feel like a lot of people did ghost, but I mean, maybe it's just because we had way more inquiries coming in compared to the last 3 years that it felt like more. What was your experience with ghosting this year, Lindsay? Did you experience a lot of it?
You know how I feel
A
about
moderate
ghosting?
amount?
I think that most photographers say that they're being ghosted when what they are being is having a lot of people inquire.
Yeah.
And not, so I think it's different for them as event floral
Yes.
event planners, because for them to actually have a conversation with their clients, they actually have to probably create a custom quote.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we're not really getting that deep in the early stages. So when I
Yeah.
hear from photographers saying they're being ghosted, my first question is always like, at what stage are we calling ghosting? Because yes, I get ghosted by tons of people that inquire.
Who don't look at the packages, don't look at the pricing, don't look at like what you offer.
Of
They're just
course.
blasting out everyone on the list
Yeah.
and seeing who is available.
So like ghosting, yes, I get a lot of inquiries
Yeah.
and a lot of them do not end up booking. However, I doubt that that's what we're dealing with here. I think that probably what Jessica's saying is that she's gotten people that have reached out. They go through a call because they would probably have to have a client call and a discussion about what they're interested in. And then my guess is that they have some sort of quoting process.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong on this, but they have to go through and say, we have 10 tables, we need bouquets, we need
Right.
whatever it is, and then they come up with some sort of custom package and then they ghost. That's actually so offensive.
Yeah. I don't like that.
And I wonder, I would actually love to hear more about how they price things, because you almost want to be like, yeah, we actually have to charge you for that time, because you could just reach out to so many florists and
Yeah.
have so many quotes out there. And these people are just like,
overwhelmed maybe, or just, I always feel like one of the strategies people do, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like people who reach out to you, who, whether you're providing a service, video, photo, event artistry, design, whatever it might be, and they have you in mind because you're like their top choice. And then they have someone who's like a B or a C choice, and they're looking for reasons to justify not going with you.
Yeah.
And so they'll keep digging, and it'll feel like a long drawn out process because they're looking for red flags to them to make it be like, oh, well, it's not worth the price then. But when they don't find one and the relationship's gone so far as to like they're ready to sign on the dotted line and send you a check,
but they still
and that
can't
doesn't-
afford it.
and they still can't afford it, they ghost you at that point, and that feels like a painful thing. And I feel like that happens
Probably
a lot.
very painful and embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
And it's, quite awkward for us, like to get to that stage. It's pretty rare now that I would say that I get ghosted. I would say there's only been one client this past like fall season that I met with. They were a referral from one of my other clients.
Yeah.
They were in the wedding party, and we usually, once I have a meeting with somebody, I hear back whether or not we're moving forward or not, because
Yeah.
at the end of the meeting, I typically send over a contract.
Yes.
So I need to know if I'm canceling
Are we
said
doing this or
contract
not?
or not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she waited a few weeks to
Okay.
get back to me and said, I'll let you know this fall. And to be honest, I was like, well, it's actually, now it's awkward because you are my current client's bridesmaid, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm almost like, I kind of want to personally let you take the L. So
Yes.
it's like, I would say that's the closest I've gotten to a ghost situation.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a pricing thing. She has like very particular style and taste, and perhaps she just wants something different than what one of her best friends had.
Fair enough.
Which I think is totally valid.
Or I think she's wait and see kind of thing. See what your day looks like.
It
the
could
experience
also
looks
be,
like.
I want to see what,
Yeah.
So I did this wedding already and I haven't delivered the photos quite yet.
So you talk to
maybe
her mom
once
or
I-
dad, and she's like, well, why don't you just wait and see what the day's like? And maybe it's a good experience. Maybe
Yeah,
it's not.
totally. So that's the closest I've gotten, but thankfully
Okay.
I don't really get a whole lot of these. Tim, I actually have to say the funniest
Oh,
story of all
okay.
time. Well, this is not the funniest story of all time. I take
Watch
this back.
out, Mel Brooks.
I have to tell you the funniest client
Okay.
phone call that I had last week.
Tell me about this phone call.
That I was like, oh, there is literally no way in hell I'm booking this client. So if you're listening
and it's you?
and it's you, I
number
cannot
one.
believe that you hired me.
You're number one.
So I had a client call last week.
Okay.
Somebody that had booked in on my Calendly.
Love it.
Just a phone call, and
Yep,
I do really.
consult.
I'm weird on phone calls, man. Like I like to be able to see people face.
Me too.
To
I
face.
like a video call.
Yeah,
Or in person.
I am-
B2B.
And
face
also,
to face.
it's one thing if it's just me and the groom or me and the bride on a phone call, but when it's me and a party on a phone call, I'm
Okay.
like, I don't know who I'm pitching to right now. Anyways, I went into this scenario like I was in the middle of editing. I was like doing a bunch of stuff while I was on the phone call because I'm on the phone and not
Yes.
in a video. So I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done late night at the studio.
And these calls are very like not formulaic, but usually they ask the same questions.
Yes.
You're just feeling the same things.
I've answered these questions so many times. It's really just like for us to get a vibe check. Like obviously I was interested and I was taking notes while we were chatting. So anything like I usually come up with like a timeline for clients on the day of like on the phone call. I come up with like a tentative, this is what I think we could do so that they know what package we're going to get. Anyways, I digress. I'm having this chat with them and it's all feeling like, oh yeah, normal. We're going through the timeline of the day. And then he goes, so I just have a question for you. Just wondering, we've spoken to some other vendors, which is always my favorite. Spoken to some other vendors and, your deposit's 50%, right? Actually, that's how we started. So your deposit's 50%, right? And I said, yeah. And I like wasn't giving my full attention to it. I'm clickety clacking away. Yep, it's 50%. And then he goes, so we've spoken to some other vendors. And I was like, oh,
okay.
I'm like full attention.
Sorry.
Oh,
Go
we have
on.
a problem with the 50%. Like that wasn't just a clarifying question.
Yes.
Your deposit is 50%. Now he's like, so I'm just wondering, our wedding's a couple years away. It's in 2026. Just wondering, like, would you be open to doing a smaller deposit or breaking up the deposit so we pay part of it now and then part of it by the day of the engagement shoot? And Tim, I could have handled this so much better. Like I certainly could have been like, explain to me your concerns, or why do you think that, why are you worried about that? Is there some reason why, like, are you concerned about me not showing up? This is what I always want to ask, and you can never say this part out loud, but like, are you concerned about me not showing up or you not showing up?
Yeah.
Do you not want to pay the deposit amount that I've stipulated because you aren't 100% sure that wedding date's going to go? Because like, if I were you, I would want to be paying whatever it takes to ensure 1,000% that this person's going to show up because we're going to be there. So shouldn't you?
Play by their rules if you want to do this.
So I literally was like, I have two things to say. One of them is that's the amount that I'm willing to take in order to hold a date that's 2 years away. Yeah. And second of all, I have done this maybe 3 times in my career and it's always gone poorly. So no, unfortunately, I don't.
Good for you.
I don't. I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing, to be honest with you. It made me laugh a little bit.
Power. Yeah.
I was like, I will literally never hear from these people again because that was such an awkward, the way that I said it was so awkward. I was like, well, I think I was just really transparent, I guess, which worked.
I think it's because you're not used to that.
I was caught off guard.
Yeah. And also you're very gracious when it comes to people and their concerns, and you want to make sure everyone's feeling good in the room. That's who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless it's a friend and fuckers. But like you want customers and people to feel like they're comfortable around you and they're having a good time, and you want to make sure that like if there's something you can do when it comes to a deposit, maybe you break it up 1,000 this week, 1,000 next week. Like there's plays to do a payment plan that makes sense.
Right. But this guy was like, if this is a holiday issue, by all means we can chat about something for now and like first week in January, second week in January, something like that. I get that. But I was like, your wedding is 2 years away. Like you want me to plan what I'm going to be doing in 2
That's what the deposit's
years for $1,000. That's why I don't really get photographers. Like we have friends that only do $1,000 or $1,500. I think that the reason that they do it is so that they're getting paid more closer to the wedding, which feels good, right? Sure. So that, but it's also usually my friends that have kids, so that if something does go awry with family planning, whatever, that they don't have 50% to give back to 30 clients. No. Right? They only have 1,000 or something, which maybe is a little bit more realistic. So anyways, that was a real digression. But I just, so then like literally an hour later, not even, I get a payment receipt.
Wild.
I was like,
they bit. So I think
shocked.
Lesson there is maybe like just hold true to what you believe and stick to the copy on your website, and like you have a policy for a reason. You're not here to bend. And
honestly, I want to work with this client. Like they seemed really nice. They seemed really great. I think that probably what they wanted to hear from me was if anything ever goes wrong, that I screw this up and in 2 years I cannot shoot your wedding. Yeah. I'm gonna either give you a refund or I'm gonna give you another photographer. Yeah. Like I think that was the question. So I think it really came down to more of like, I have more questions for you before I can answer. This is usually
Right.
what I would have done.
Yeah.
But instead I was just like, here's my answer. Take it or leave it.
Literally. And people love that. I think that's a confidence that people don't
I guess.
see maybe from a lot of wedding vendors.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what spurred my thought process on that other than it
Neither
just
do
made
I.
me have a little LOL. Yeah, no, I did. There was
What was
something.
it?
What was the thing we were talking about here?
Spookiest year of ghosting clients.
No, we were just talking
Yeah.
about client meetings, I
Okay.
think. Anyways, doesn't matter. That was my peak and my valley for this past week.
Jessica, thank you for sharing.
Just my own
your
personality
experience.
was the peak and the valley.
We'd love to know, Jessica, what ghosting looks like for you as an event planner and florist, because it's probably very different from us. Let us know. Get back to us in the comments. Next up, we have Katie Nelson Photography. Katie Nelson is a friend of the show. Her high is seeing more of the wedding, maternity, newborn pipeline with the same clients.
Oh, the best.
I feel like we're a bit responsible for that. Not to pat ourselves in the back too much, but I feel like you've inspired a lot of people to look into their clients in wedding photography space and be like, hey, you're going to make a baby.
Yeah.
You're gonna have maternity. You're gonna have newborn. You're gonna have a family soon. Let's continue this relationship as photographers. So
Yeah, I think it's always such a great feeling. I don't
Yeah.
know that I can take all the credit for
Take
that.
the credit.
Katie's a phenomenal photographer.
She
and
is.
probably when she did their wedding photos, these people were like, I got to hire this person.
Yeah.
But great that you have given them the portfolio and
Mm-hmm.
the confidence and all of that to see that, oh yeah, we can hire a wedding photographer to do our maternity and our family and whatever photos afterwards. So
you gave me the confidence this year, so why not her?
Why not?
And her low was 3 DSLR uncles at a 20 guest wedding. So what's the math on that?
that is a low.
I don't know the percentages. 3 out of 20.
1.5%.
1.5%. Is that right?
No.
20 times 100.
3
Divided by-
3 out of 30 would be 10%.
10% plus you.
Yeah, so 3 out of 30 would be 10%. It's 6%. I take it back. It's 6%.
That's rough,
So I like that I
Katie.
was so confidently like 1.5%.
It's
not even
1.5%.
close.
No,
it's not.
no.
It's 6%.
3 DSLR uncles at a 20 guest wedding. All of them asking what your settings are. Exciting. All with a 18 to 35 zoom, I'm guessing, or probably a 200 to what? 500 massive
Tim,
Canon lens.
My math was still wrong. I was literally
What is
sitting
it?
here because 2 out of 20 would be 10%. 2 out of 20 would be 10%.
Okay.
So 3 is more.
20. If you know math, please let us know.
I'm actually so sad that I can't figure. So usually what I do is 20 divided by 2 is 10.
Yep.
Okay. So then 3 divided by 2 is 1.5.
Okay.
So that would be 15%. So it's 15%. Okay.
Wow.
So the 1.5 was there. We were just moving the decimal. Anyways, Katie, that's a horrible number. And it's even more horrible that Tim and I
Don't do
should
math.
go
We
back
don't do
to
math.
grade 4.
Remedial grade 9.
Grade 9.
I-
Bud. In your dreams, we
I
learned
took
long
college
division
level.
in grade 3.
Did we? Oh.
I did. I don't know what school you went to.
I don't remember anything before grade 9, so it's tough.
Let's stop talking about math and let's start talking about that as a low, Katie.
Do you have experience working with uncle photographers at weddings?
Of course.
But are there ever
course.
that many? Like, don't scale it up. Don't do the ratio of like, it'd be like
100
50 of them.
We
That'd be
can't talk
insane.
about 15% at 100.
No,
The 15 photographers at a 100-person wedding.
that'd be insane. But you've had
I would
multiple,
actually
right?
simply
Like,
want to go away. I
Yeah.
actually think that at smaller weddings, it's more common to get that
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I think, probably because they feel like, oh, there's not a lot of people paying attention.
Right.
Like it won't be embarrassing.
Yes.
They would never do that at a 200-person
No.
wedding because people would be like, why are you standing up and moving around at
Get
this
outta
wedding?
here.
That's insane.
yeah, less eyes on them.
Right. And it's more of an intimate gathering. Maybe
Yeah.
they are the go-to photographer at their family functions. And this just feels like yet another family function.
My dad is an uncle photographer.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
he doesn't do it at weddings, thank God.
Yeah.
I've only been to 2 weddings where he was there, and I shot both of them, which was nice. But he's the kind of guy who would like he works. He's at his he goes to church. He's a churchman. He's a Knight of the Columbus. Rails his sword
Okay,
around,
yeah.
and he's the photographer for like everyone there, basically. So
But they
anytime there's an
ask him
event,
too.
they do. But he's
So
like,
that's a different scenario.
yeah, he shot all my sister's photos for like her not maternity, but like her children's photos.
Sure,
and stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
And
but
that's nice.
He's definitely the uncle photographer of my family.
But he would not go to a 20-person wedding and
God,
whip
I hope
out
not.
a 70 to 200.
No, he doesn't have one. No.
Okay.
Yeah. He has a G850.
Oh, okay, but that's pretty good.
I gave him because I didn't.
My dad and Taylor's dad both are like, they both take lots of photos at
Yeah.
family functions,
Yeah.
but both of them have like the 3,000 times zoom.
Oh yeah.
You know,
See the moon?
The
Yeah.
optical zoom. Literally, Bill takes pictures of the moon.
And the
It's
sticker
crazy.
still has a 20x optical zoom. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, both of them have that. So, take that for. It's interesting. Actually,
Okay.
you really bring up a good point here, Tim.
What's that?
None of us know if our family are the uncle photographers. Like, because if you're not at the wedding, you know what I mean? You would never know. Like,
Check in with someone you love.
check in with somebody you love. Ask them, like, are your parents responsible for this behavior?
And let them know it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Because although, for every frustrating, annoying parent client that I have, they are someone's parent.
That's right.
And you are responsible for them. So
Good grief. Yeah, no, check with someone you love. Make sure that they're not doing this to a photographer in your area, because that's terrifying.
because that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But stoked for you, Katie, that you're
Yes,
seeing
back to the high.
a lot more of the same clients. It's nice to just retarget the people that have already fallen in love with you once.
They buy from you once, they're going to buy from you again. Why not?
Why
you know?
not make some more money on the same human beings? Okay, let's
Moving
cruise.
on, we're doing it. This is from Social Templates. Angela, our friend Angela from
Hi,
Social
Angela.
Templates, based in California. She does Reels Made Easy on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Check her out, socialtemplates.co. But her high was best year in business ever. Feeling so grateful. Crying face emoji. And her valley was car smashed, gear and content stolen.
Oh my gosh,
Also crying face emoji.
My heart hurt so much. Did you see
yeah,
her
I saw
stories?
It. Yeah.
So Angela,
Tragic, Angela.
Angela started her business, I think, like either at the very beginning of this year or at the tail end of last year. So it's
Right.
been like just an incredible year for
Yeah.
her. And we actually spoke about Angela in the last episode. But you have been killing it, Angela, absolutely killing it. You have made such a huge difference in my life and in Tim's life and in all of these photographers that have used your product.
Yep.
So huge thank you to you. You should be so proud. And none of us are safe from car theft. So Angela was doing a big content day, had shot in a studio, like
Yes.
what looked like for multiple hours, getting content for her own business.
Yes.
And then posted a story of like the back of the car completely smashed in. It sounded like, I can't remember exactly, maybe they went for dinner or something after the shoot and left the gear in the car thinking, oh, we won't be too long or something like that. And then all of it got stolen, which is so
Tragic.
sad. And thank God, knock on wood, I have never been there and I hope never to be there. There is no lesson to be learned here for Angela. I'm sure she's like just feeling so bad about it. But for all of us, let us not forget that a car is not a safe place to leave
Not
our
a vault.
stuff, unfortunately.
No.
Even though it should be. And there should be no reason why we can't leave our shit in the things that we own with locks.
No
Hello?
kidding.
I
It's-
lock my door. It should be safe
secure.
here.
It should be safe.
Yeah. But people suck.
People suck.
So, Angela, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And next time I see you, I will do some free content, photos, and video for you. Mwah.
That's very nice.
A gift.
Angela, we love you. I'm so sorry that happened. That's really tragic. But you did a really good job by being an incredible business person this year. So
And honestly, good
hopefully
for you
your
for
bank account,
telling people.
hopefully your
Because
bank account makes you feel a bit
as
better.
a person, I will say this,
Yeah.
as a person who supports photographers
Yes.
in their brand, it is, I'm sure like she's feeling like, oh, that was a really dumb move. I shouldn't tell people about it. But I actually think it was the smartest move for her to do that because it reminds us
Yes.
as photographers on that one day that you think I'm just going to leave my camera in the car and run
Yep.
in real quick, or I'm going to go for a quick dinner.
Bring it with you.
The car is out front. It's not a big deal. I'm in a safe place, well lit, whatever.
Yep.
It's a great reminder that, we should try to protect ourselves literally every single
Every time we go into like a gas station to get like snacks, one of us will stay in the car if we're working together, or we both go in, bring our bags with us with like the most important stuff. in
Yeah.
it. Like I'll leave tripods and stuff, but who gives a shit about tripods?
If I have to leave gear in a car,
Yeah.
I usually pop one of the cards out and put it in my wallet
Yes.
and have that physically on me.
Just so you don't lose the content
at
of
the
the
very
day.
least, you're not losing the images or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. But
Everything in one or two bags, just slap it on your back, put it over your shoulder, and
I
walk
know.
in. Leave the big stuff that's like light
Tripods.
stands. Who gives a shit? Those are what?
steal it, buddy.
Take it. You don't know how to use it. without
yeah,
the gear.
Good
So
for you, Angela,
good
for
for you,
sharing
Angela.
it. I know it's not a fun time to be like, hi, here's a dumb thing I did.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it was actually Angela that shot it, so maybe we're not blaming the right person. Anyways, let's move on.
Moving right along, Stephanie Lee Photography wrote, finally comfortable working with only, in parentheses, mostly, clients that match my vibe. Stephanie, I feel that. I feel like that was my year too. Most of the couples I worked with this year were just like chill. And they
got
loved the things that I produced. They loved the idea that I was bringing Super 8 to the wedding videos I did. The photography clients were like, oh, we're so excited. Like I had people come up to me like, oh my God, you're shooting the wedding. I'm like, who are you? They're like, oh, we listen to the podcast. Or like, I know you from social media. I'm like, holy shit, cool. I felt welcome. I felt
So fun.
just like, people were excited to see me, which is so nice.
You're in a flow.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
And it's nice to find clients that do match your vibe, because there's something really hard about jumping into either a new niche or
Yeah.
a new area or whatever it is. And to get started, generally, you're just getting clients that are in need of a photographer, but
Yes.
not you.
Exactly.
They're looking for a person that presses a button, but not you and your personality. And the more that we show the kind of work that we want to shoot, and we show more of the clients that we want to work with,
the experience.
more we're going to start
Bingo.
attracting those kinds of people. So good for you. Whatever you have done has worked, and we love that for you.
Share it. We want to see more of it.
Yes.
Moving right along, we have B. Pendleton Photo, his or her or they doing a photo
Her,
session
Brenda.
at. Oh, yeah, I couldn't see that.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
It's a small
B,
thumbnail.
I just know who it is.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Brenda. Doing a photo session at White Sands.
Tim, where's White Sands?
White Sands? I don't know. Where's White Sands? Should we look it up?
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, look it up. That
bet.
sounds like a
Sounds
destination
amazing.
you've probably been on your mind for a while. Brenda? That's incredible. I remember when I did my first destination wedding in 2017. That was such a huge moment for me because
my
I'm
gosh.
like, oh, I've arrived. I'm
Okay,
doing
I
the
know
thing
another
that
B.
our friends
Pendleton.
are doing.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
who is
lied
it?
to you,
Oh,
totally.
different person.
This is Bethany. I'm so
Bethany,
sorry.
sorry,
That's
Bethany.
really weird. I know somebody with a very similar last name, so that's
I only had a few minutes to screenshot all of these
White
all these
funny.
responses, and I didn't get to look anyone up.
Totally
so
fine.
Apologies, Bethany.
White. So Bethany's not from this area.
Okay.
It's a different person.
I'm guessing
oh my
there's
gosh,
sand there.
Hawaii, Honolulu.
Whoa,
Wow.
Bethany in the land of Moana. That's
Must
incredible.
be nice to be American, eh?
Yeah, just being able to travel there anytime and just your dollar just is there.
I love that so much for you, Bethany.
Amazing. Congrats.
Congratulations. And sorry that I called you a different person
That's okay.
entirely.
I'm accepting the
You're
apology
like,
on her
"That's
behalf.
okay. Don't
No,
worry
it's
about
fine.
that." Yeah.
Let us know if it's not a fine.
White Sands sounds beautiful. Honestly, anybody who's gotten to shoot at a destination,
Yes.
either one that's been on your sort of photography bucket list,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just a location that you have now heard of for the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. You want me to go there? Somebody has to really trust you to bring you to a place that you don't live and say, hey, do you want to shoot here? So
Yeah.
whatever you've done, kudos. Huge fan of yours.
Congratulations. Moving right along. We did this one already. Stephanie Lee. Moving right along. We did that one already. Going
You're going
down.
backwards.
Finally comfortable looking. We did that one already. Moving on. Chris Courtney 317 says, hi, starting Super 8. Here's looking at you, Tim. You're very welcome. Low, less first looks this year.
Ooh.
Interesting. I feel that. I know what that's like. That really does affect the day and the flow and making sure you can get portraits before the ceremony, family formals before the ceremony. It becomes kind of a rush during cocktail hours. So if you're a bride, you're a groom, you're a photographer out there, push for the first look. It's a good idea.
You know what's so funny?
What's up?
My low is that I want less first looks.
Oh, you mean okay. So we talked about this before.
I think Chris is saying what you read. Chris has gotten less first looks this year, which is tough because that's really challenging. My low is that I had so many first looks that I was like, could we do something other than a first look?
First look with mom, first look with dad, first look with bridesmaids,
That's a low
first
for
look
me.
with grandma, first look with bride and groom.
I'll be really
My
happy
God.
to leave that one in the past.
Yeah.
TikTok needs to let that one die, please,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
No more.
First look with dog.
Let's just do a first look with the person you're marrying.
Yeah,
That
that'd be
would be
nice.
so nice. You can do a quick, here's my dad when he comes into the room, by all means.
Yeah.
But why must we do a first look with every single person that's at this wedding? The first look, they're going to see you when you walk down the aisle.
It's a pretty good time.
Yeah. Anyways, Chris, I feel you. That is stressful.
Yeah.
But I love that you started Super 8.
Hey,
That's so
congratulations.
fun.
It's
Great
a lot
work.
of fun. It's a blast. I hope you find a good developer. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I have a lot of ideas on Super 8, how to make it great.
Yours are
Super.
fine, I guess.
They're fine. I keep getting this wrong. Here we go. Ooh, here's a fun one from Kaylee Black Photography. My camera breaking during a full day of Christmas minis while I still had 15 sessions left. Lindsay, you know but think about this.
Kaylee.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
That was a
Kaylee
rough
Black.
day.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. So Kaylee is the Kitchener-Waterloo Christmas mini session queen.
She's the quang.
The queen. Kaylee is one of the first, I would say, people that was actually doing tree farm sessions in this area long before it became a thing that all of us did.
Yeah.
So sorry, Kaylee. I don't think I've eaten any of her lunch because her lunch is fully, this woman could shoot 60 of these a year, I think, and still be fully booked.
For sure.
It's crazy. And yes, I was there this day when Kaylee had her camera break during a full day of Christmas minis. But whether she shared this or not as her peak, I will say that Kate, captured by Kate, came in and saved the day.
Yes.
So as you know, if you're shooting mini sessions or any sort of like back-to-back sort of marathon type of shoot, there's really not a lot of buffer built in if something does go wrong. So I was shooting at the same tree farm the day as like a bunch of other photographers were shooting at it, and I was down at the very far end of the farm, so I didn't know what was going on until afterwards.
Yeah.
But I guess Kaylee had shot a few sessions like early in the morning and then was having a couple of issues with her camera, and then it just completely stopped working. Yeah. And of course, this happened to be the same time that her backup camera had also been giving her grief. And so it was in the shop. And she tempted the universe and she said, when have I ever needed a second body?
Backup's a backup.
A backup's a backup. And so she went into this day thinking, I've never needed this before. And also like, this isn't what I'm planning for. And, you don't plan for that to go south. And she's in the middle of a crazy Christmas season. So I'm sure that this is not how she would have hoped for this to go. Yeah. But of course, when you tempt the universe and you say, when have I ever needed a second? The universe will say, today, baby.
Motherfucker. Yeah. How about right now, dude?
So Kaylee's shooting on Sony. Sorry, Sony, RIP. You have done her dirty today.
Rip, rip, rip.
But Kaylee was like walking around, she was looking for other photographers trying to help her out.
Thank God it was a popular year for minis at that tree farm.
Because she was saying if she was there the week before, it was only her there. Yeah. And there was nobody else out there. And then this day, there was like 6 of us out there.
It was a good day too. It was beautiful weather.
It was a stunning day.
So.
And anyways, she had like her assistant on the phone who was about to go and buy her another camera. But like by that time, if you've got
3 or 4
in an hour, like you're in big trouble, and you've got to set up a brand new camera. And
got to reschedule. My God,
it's not looking or feeling really great for sure. And the most stressful part about having to cancel on a mini is that they're probably already in the parking lot because they're so back to back.
They know that is a tight timeline. They have somewhere to be. They're there 30 minutes early, hopefully. Yeah. And like, let's get a hot chocolate and hang out. And they're not really checking their phone. They're like, okay, let's show up when we need to show up,
Yeah. And,
and they got their hair did.
Kids
they're all dressed up.
So stressful.
With H&M.
And thankfully, Kaylee walked over to another photographer, Kate, who is a friend of ours.
Friend of the show.
Captured by Kate. And she was like, Kate, I don't know what to do here. Like, here's a situation.
Yeah.
I guess Kaylee was going to run down to me because she figured I would have a second body. But she was like, Lindsay's on Canon now. She was telling Kate's like, yeah, I got a second camera right here. Just like literally tosses her a Sony and says, here you go.
What a sweetheart.
Absolute gem. Then she even loaned her another camera for the rest of the week because she was like, well, now you're down 2 cameras for a week right now.
It's good karma.
And she loaned her another one. So heroic moves in this area. The next time anybody wants to tell me community over competition isn't real, or community and competition is my preferred term, but isn't real, go ahead and listen to that story, because if it was competition over community, these girls would all be like, sorry, Kaylee, sucks to suck. Those are our clients.
Those are my clients. Come to me, they'd say.
And she only had one client that didn't get their full session.
Okay.
And they were people that she had just done like a fall shoot with them too. So she was
God.
able to still get them photos, just maybe not their full thing.
So the universe wasn't completely spitting in her face. It's like,
no,
it all
worked out really, really well. So
I just realized we're wearing the same kind of waffle sweater. Mine's not as soft looking as yours, but this is fun. We keep coordinating on our outfits.
It's
without
really
knowing
funny.
it.
Yeah. I was really going for a comfy, cozy day today.
I was going for more of a starchy kind of vibe. Apparently.
I'm in like yoga pants because I had to like run around today.
Speaking of yoga, we're going to take a break, stretch our legs, listen to an ad, and we'll be right back with 4 or 5 more of these listener-submitted peaks and valleys. Be right back.
Tim, how was your fall this year?
It was wonderful. It was great.
Tell me more, because I hear a lot of people, they got a huge editing backlog.
A lot of you are probably struggling out there. Not me. I use Imagine.
Oh, aren't you perfect? I wish I could use Imagine.
Lindsay, like you at home listening, you can also use Imagine. In fact, you do use Imagine. I know this about you. Link is in the description of this episode. You can get 1,500 free edits. That's like a free wedding to edit. They do auto culling, cropping, skin smoothing, teeth whitening. They use presets that you've created as a photographer to make the editing process streamlined and easy.
And it's like 5 cents an image after that 1,500. It's really, really cheap, you guys. There is no better way to edit your photos faster and in the most consistent way possible than Imagine.
Check out the link in the description below to get 1,500 free edits. Try it out. Make sure it works for you. You're not going to look back. It's going to be the greatest thing of your editing career.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
I love nothing more than social media, sharing my photos now in video format. That's a joke. But you know what I do love is actually reaching the people that follow me and making sure that they're seeing the work that I'm putting out.
Yes.
And the best way for us to do that right now is by putting out reels. It's not my favorite thing to make. Thankfully, our friends over at Social Templates have created beautiful photography-specific templates made just for us with trending audio, beat matched, synced so that they look beautiful, and they look like you spent hours on them, but really you probably spent maybe 3 minutes. So all you have to do is drag and drop BTS videos, some photos, and it will automatically populate a beautiful reel for you in the Instagram app.
This sounds expensive. Can we get a discount code, please?
Absolutely. You know I have a discount for you.
Nice.
Using the code Lindsay, you will get your first month for free. I promise you're going to want the second month. That's just how this is going to go because you're going to be so obsessed with it. So use the code Lindsay and get your first month free. Go to socialtemplates.co on Instagram and give it a shot.
What's that code again? What's that website?
Socialtemplates.co on Instagram and click on their link that says subscribe and put in the code Lindsay for your first month free.
Back to the show. Oh, I'm like, what the But he's transferring
your galleries, from PicTime. Tim's getting all of these notifications from PicTime because he's doing a gallery migration.
Sorry, yeah, I jumped off of PicTime, everyone. Sorry, we're back, and now I am. Sorry, I jumped off of Pixie's head. I'm a PicTime boy now, which is very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yes.
We're super stoked for you. One of the biggest barriers to switching a gallery service is like, but
migration.
what do I do with all of these? Like I've got like hundreds of galleries that I want moved over.
Yes.
So Tim just looked down and had a panic attack because he's got like 200 emails, but it's just a notification saying so-and-so's gallery has been transferred.
Yeah, that my boy at PicTime's doing. So he's doing it manually, which is great.
So they download from PixieSet and then they upload to PicTime and then they send you a link so you can send that to your clients and
Incredible.
be like, hey, here's where your gallery lives now.
Let it rip. So I'm very excited about that. If you want to sign up with PicTime, promo code Lindsay gets you what, a free month? Get you something.
LINDSAY.
LINDSAY. Because we said so.
You're definitely going to get a free month.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting for you. And it's possible that they may still have a sale on. You'll have to check. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how long they're making the Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing go.
Might be a full week. If it's a full week, it's Monday.
Mm-hmm. But take a look for sure. Yeah. It's like some of their best pricing they've had. And honestly, the system just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. And if not, they still do migration. I think it's like $1 or $2 a gallery. Don't quote me on that, but take a look because it is a possibility of a thing you can do. And I'm excited for it. You know, Focal website, PicTime galleries, new year, new me. Let's move right along to
in 2025, you're going to say, the peak for me was my new Focal website and my new PicTime gallery.
You know, the money I make on the galleries.
Yes, absolutely. Jade Jones. I'm reading this one now. This one's mine. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. That's so funny. I didn't mean to take this one. Like,
well,
it sounds
you took
like,
it.
Well, I just wanted to say it so that you didn't have to. I'm trying to save you.
No, I appreciate that. We should share the load. This is not just the Tim Reads Things Out Loud show.
Well, I know sometimes I feel like you're just producing, and this is the thing, you guys. Okay, Tim is a phenomenal podcast producer.
Thank you.
And host.
Okay.
And sometimes I think that he forgets that everybody wants to hear his opinions and thoughts and concerns and everything too. So that means that I have to produce, and then you have to give me your opinion.
Okay.
I'm going to produce now.
I'm not just volleying ideas to you.
Yeah, you always volley. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
You guys are here for us. You understand how this goes. Tim Tim brings up a topic and then I riff. Okay, that's sickening. Nobody wants to just hear the Lindsay show. Okay, so
They might.
Tim, I'm bad at it. Tim,
Do you want to take over? I can take
here's
over.
a submission from our friend Jade Jones.photo on Instagram. And Jade Jones has said, the high is you guys following me. Laughing, crying face. Love the podcast. Also buying a whole new setup.
Whole new setup.
Damn, Jade.
Jade.
It's been a good year for you. You got followed by the Shoot Your Shot podcast and you got a whole new setup. That's why I was saying, I took this one. It makes it seem, anyways. I took like the one that's just absolutely pumping our tires to the maximum.
I love a tire pump. That sounds great.
Jade, thank you so much for being
thank
here.
you. No, we're happy to follow you, of course.
The thing is, for us, Tim and I, our personal accounts are so deep on our actual businesses. We follow our clients. We follow some photographer friends of ours. We follow like
industry professionals, other vendors,
people in our area.
Yes.
If we were to follow only photographers on our things, we would lose our damn minds. But it's really important for us to have a good vibe check on what everybody's up to, what's everybody saying. What
for the Shoot Your Shot community podcast.
We want to see what you guys are shooting.
Yeah.
We want to see your improvements over the years. We want to see what you're saying and what you're posting. And so we actually both use the Shoot Your Shot podcast Instagram to just creep on you.
Yeah.
So we love that. And thank you so much for being here. And also congrats on the whole new setup. Damn.
I want to know what that setup is.
Yeah. What brand do you think it is?
Gun to my head, I'd probably say Nikon.
Nikon. Interesting. It's an interesting.
I feel like a lot of people, when they started in their business, I'm not saying you're new, Jade, by any means. I haven't dove in yet. I just followed you, I think, the other day through the Shoot Your Shot podcast. But I feel like a lot of people start with Canon. It just feels like a very common thing.
Yeah, it's a good brand association that people have seen. Like actually, like our dads with their 5 million X zoom cameras, whatever. You go to Best Buy, you probably buy some like
one of two. It's like Canon and Nikon. Those are the two big in like the early 2000s, right?
For sure. Like that's the one that you started with, and then you learn, and then you grow.
There's limitations, right? And you're like, I want to do something else, and a lot of people
every
venture
year,
out.
one brand comes out with something really exceptional. And I would say that this year is looking like a Nikon year.
Yeah.
So love that for you, Jade. I cannot wait to see the images. Now that we follow you, I'm going to go and have to stalk you also.
Moving along to our friend, Jeff Mack.
Stop! I died.
He's an officiant. If you don't know, I do some YouTube content with Jeff. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff for him. I do all of his social media, reels, photos, things like that. Because it's fun, he's nice to work with, and he pays on time, so why not? He's a friend.
He pays on time.
He does. No, but he's
absolutely.
lovely. He's a fantastic client and a friend, so obviously we want to work together as much as possible.
I will say it's actually really nice when your friends pay you on time.
Oh my God, it's
because
lovely.
We are close friends. Like we hang out with these guys. We go out for dinner.
Yeah.
We do weekends away, and it would be so easy for friends to be like,
nah, forget it.
You'll understand. I'll send it to in a week or a month. And you've had clients like that were friends of ours that like then you are no longer friends really because like actually I could have put other paying clients in here.
It's the thing. It's the same. I feel it falls into the category of good fences make good neighbors. Like having that boundary of like, hey, this is a nice thing we do together. Let's have like a thing in place
being good friends
to keep it really nice for all of us. And then also it just makes us better people. Jeff says the new young lens has been a game changer for my YouTube studio. He set up a YouTube studio in his basement. He honestly did a really good job. He set up curtains that look nicer than the ones we have here in the podcast studio. He has like an all completely draped off.
Anything would look better than the curtains we have in this podcast
really
studio.
Awful. I wish you could see it.
It's not a curtain so much as it is
two
a
blankets.
quilt off of I think Jose's bed and a tablecloth. So
yeah, we need to block the light. We'll get better at this year. But anyway, Jeff set up a legit studio space. He's got a microphone.
It looks
on a
amazing.
boom arm. And he wanted my opinion on a lens that wasn't a kit lens because he had like an 18 to 35 or something like that. And it was 3.5. It wasn't very shallow. He wanted that kind of depth of field, cool cinematic look. So I sold him on a
Samyang?
because it was inexpensive. It was EF. He wanted to spend like $200.
But not a young, right?
It was a young. Yeah. It's a young. It's a 50. It's
I've
a 1.
never heard of
it's
this
a
brand.
1.2 and it's fucking great.
What's wrong with me that I've never heard of this brand? Is
It's
this a
literally-
brand that people know of?
I guess. I don't know. I looked it up on Amazon. Like, this is probably fine.
Young?
With the reviews, it was fine. It's literally a camera sitting on a tripod, probably a bit further than this one. This is the 35, the wide
Okay.
shot of us. And it's a 50, and it's perfect for him. It frames him
I love
nicely.
it.
He doesn't look too wide
I'm
or
gonna
weird.
have to Google it because I was like,
Look it up.
Samyang?
Yeah.
Young? I thought that he was that he was trying to say Samyang,
No,
and he
no,
said
no, no.
Young Young.
It's a Young Young. I think it's Chinese. Or Vietnamese, maybe.
It makes sense. I just had never heard of it, but
Yeah.
also I'm the least gear-oriented person you know.
So is he.
Okay, just Jeff and I.
Yeah. So I've been helping him with that, and he's super psyched about it. So yeah.
Honestly, Jeff, your setup looks phenomenal.
It does. Well done.
You have done such a good job. It's really hard to put yourself out there and do YouTube. So
Yeah.
good for you for not just hiring somebody to do it, but
Yeah.
doing it with Tim and on your own.
Yeah, just trying to help us all grow together. So
Big kudos.
Way to go, Jeff. Moving on, we have the only Gareth Carr. Gareth's a very interesting beast. He used to do a lot of wedding DJing in the area in the early aughts before COVID hit. He kind of wrapped up that business. And now he does things like lighting and video wall work, like at giant LED video walls for like sporting events. Like he does all those, like people walk into the stadium and they're in like just glowing.
Like literally the Super Bowl walkout.
Yeah.
So,
He's worked with The Rock, like for his brand of football. Like he's worked with NFL. He's worked with MLB. I'm sure TSN, all their sports people. He's worked with the dog show, like the Kennel Club. He's done those
So cool.
so many years in a row. But he does like video, professional AV on like an incredible level these days. Gareth said, bought a camera without a viewfinder. A bit shit, isn't it? So that's, he's English. Yeah, he bought a viewfinder without a camera.
a camera without a viewfinder.
The opposite of what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would that be? Like
It's a bit shit in it. Well, yeah, Gareth, what did you buy,
not
bud?
think? Did you not look at it?
Like, did you buy like
MX5, the new Fuji? Probably.
Did you buy like one of the race car cameras that Taylor's been telling everybody to buy for the past
That's
little
a
bit?
film camera.
Like it's a film. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't have a viewfinder. Like I'm just curious what you bought, and also why would you do it without talking to us? Well, not me. Obviously, I don't know what a young is, but Gareth, you should. I don't know. This is pretty crazy, but one of your close friends is like a professional camera reviewer. You could reach out to him, but
Just look on his YouTube.
unless this is, I don't know what you would be buying that doesn't have a viewfinder.
Sony has a few. ZX1, I think it's called. There's a few cameras that are like more
What's the
entry
point?
level. Just use the screen. Oh, the Panasonic G9 something. That's kind of like the. It's trying to be like it's coming for the X100 series.
Oh,
But it's
interesting.
Panasonic. They have
I
like
like to put
built-in
my-
filters.
I like to put my eye up to things still.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes it's too bright. You gotta have that
on my X106, I still use the
all the
viewfinder,
time.
and it's really not intended for that.
No.
But I just think I can see more of what I'm actually trying to shoot instead of the whole damn world around
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So okay, well, yeah, that's a low.
Sucks to suck, Gareth. Try harder. Try harder. Again,
Is
we
it
can
still
be
within the return window or what, bud?
Christmas. Just resell it. Gift it.
Oh, this one's a good one.
Here we go.
we are. This is a message that I got from our friend Chris Stenner. Chris is a phenomenal photographer that we hung out a lot with at Way Up North. And
Yes.
Chris was shooting Way Up North in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And was taking all kinds of photos of the speakers. So actually, I'm going to read it to you and then
Here we go.
I'll tell you about it. Chris said, managed to successfully navigate my 27th year as a photographer. So that's a massive high. Going into 2025 on a creative high too, producing work that's different, but connecting with the right clients. Getting my camera stolen was the low point. That was a low.
Low.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then he and I had a couple of messages back and forth, and I was like, Chris, first of all, I thought we were the same age. So I'm a little confused by your 27th year as a photographer. But 27 years in photography, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. I think we have to have Chris on the podcast
That'd be
because
great.
27 years as a photographer, when we're all told like, oh, being a photographer
Is a gateway, is a stepping stone to something else.
is not
Yeah.
necessarily a sustainable thing that you can do forever. And Chris is over here clearly proving us wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Well, not us. I don't
But the
believe it
world.
at all, but other
Yeah.
people that say these
The
things. And
royal
I
us.
want to know, like, how are you feeling a creative high and you're going into your 27th year, going into your 28th year as a photographer? It's truly remarkable.
It's incredible.
And then getting your camera stolen was the low point. Yeah, it was my low point too, Chris,
Yeah,
because
we all
his
felt that.
camera was stolen on day 2 of Way Up North, which was the day that I spoke. So there are no photos of me on stage. So yeah, Chris, I felt it too.
Yeah.
I'll just imagine it. But that was such a low.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was, we all went on break, and we were all at like this conference with
in a theater
all
right
other
downtown.
photographers.
Yeah.
And there's security, there's like hundreds of people milling about. And they put his camera and Jeff Chang's cell phone.
Yeah, on a tripod so he could record his own talk.
Yeah, and they were all just like, oh, we're just going to pop out really quick for some lunch and then come back.
It was on the booth, like where the sound
Literally,
and lighting
like,
guy are in the theater.
Inside the theater. Like, you have to walk in. There's an entrance. There's a
Lobby.
huge lobby.
Yes.
And then there's a theater. So the shittiest part about this is that it had to have been stolen by either someone that was at this conference, that was attending a conference, which means they're a photographer or photographer adjacent, or someone was scoping the place out.
Yeah.
And we were only on day 2, so it's not like, oh, we had a week to scope this out. So it's really more likely, unfortunately, someone that was attending, which is,
That's tragic.
I think that's what makes it the worst low. Because Chris said, like, you know, money is money. I can replace that. But it's just like knowing that your shit was violated and
the
your
photos
things,
you took are gone.
and that this is your thing, and it feels really, as a person who's had their home broken into and stuff stolen, like it doesn't matter if it's your phone or if it's your camera, whatever, it just feels so violating. So it truly is a huge low.
Especially a place that like feels like an extension of like home. Like all you're amongst friends
Tons
here
of
at
people were
Boston
leaving
Pizza.
bags
Like what's
in
going
their
on?
chairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
as
people,
placeholders, right?
People were just leaving their bags because they're like, oh, we're just popping out and we're coming back in. So I don't even think it was crazy that you left it there.
It was the same person who stole the camera as they did Jeff Chang's phone. You can find Jeff Chang's phone. He's posting on the Find My. Every now and then he'll update Instagram with like, here it is.
And it's been like all over Europe.
Yeah.
So it's very weird. I don't know if
Morocco, it was
somebody
following him
sold
for a
it.
bit.
Yeah, it was really weird. He said, my phone's been following me because he's been doing a Euro trip.
Yeah. So tragic. Sort of laugh at that, but I laugh at sad things.
Yeah, it was really
that
sad.
sucks.
But I gotta say, this is my favorite second part of the message that Chris said to me. I said, holy shit, 27 years of photographer is incredible. And he said, every time I speak to my dad, he always asks me if I'm, in quotes, still getting away with it.
That's lovely.
Which I loved because I have heard that from my own family too, where I feel like they're like, how are you still getting away with this? Like, it feels criminal that people are paying you to just like, you just take your silly little camera out and you just go and take silly little pictures and you get paid like a pretty nice living for it. And honestly, Chris, we're trying to figure out how long we're going to get away with it too. So yeah, let's have Chris on. If
great.
you don't follow Chris yet, Chris Denner Photography
Yes, ma'am.
on Instagram. Go check out his work. And if you have questions for Chris, let us know, because I think we're going to try to snipe him and get him on the pod.
Will he come in person? Probably not. Maybe he'll be on screen here.
It's going to be a long flight for him, but
He could
that's
do it.
okay. Okay.
That's
wow.
it, dude. We're
that's
out.
so good.
We've done it.
The highest high. I really love that we left on the high of Chris telling us that he's had like this long, beautiful career and he's still going into 2025
Absolutely.
on a creative high.
Yeah.
Honestly, getting to hang out with Chris at the Imagine dinner and just getting so unreasonably silly on the sangria
was good.
really a highlight for me.
It's good sangria.
I gave him some semi-permanent tattoos. They weren't permanent at all. But,
No, they came right off.
But we had a really fun time. Anyways, thank
Thank
you
you
guys so much for
so
sharing.
much. We really appreciate you all reaching out to our question on Instagram and answering your peaks and valleys for 2024. Moving into 2025, if you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, you can always hit us up on the Shoot Your Shot Podcast Instagram, and we'll get to it.
We will get to it. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
A huge thank you again to Tim for being the most rad podcast host and producer that there is.
Oh, thanks.
And we will see you guys again next Monday.
Bye, everybody. Ciao, ciao, ciao.